have that person personally escorted up to the jail, and they're going to spend some time there enjoying the game, but behind bars. So they accept cash, Venmo, for some of you older fans, HNHS stadiums, as well as other forms of Bitcoin and modern day currency. It's all good fun. You'll see various members of the education community who have already committed to be in jail, and hopefully somebody will bail them out. So take advantage of that this evening. Also, our thanks to Rick Hall and Hall's Lawn and Landscape. They are tonight's game night sponsor. And they're more than a landscape company. They also do pools. I think Marcia at our house is going to want to put in a pool for this summer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for this junior varsity tilt here this evening. First of all, for the Norwell Knights, here is the starting lineup. Number 22, 5'10", freshman guard, Titus Jacob. Number 3, Benji Lucas, 5'9", freshman guard. Also in the starting lineup for the Knights, 5'9", freshman guard, number 4, Landon Clark. foul number 21, Braden Curtis, puts Cash Bailey at the line. For the Vikings. And Griffin Bailey reports in for the Knights. We got a personal foul on the Vikings number 33 guys in player. They'll put Cash Bailey back at the line for the Knights. bid by cash spectator. Got a nice personal foul number 5, Cash Begley. They replaced Andrew McCutcheon on the line for the Vikings. It'll be Viking basketball on the baseline. Got a personal foul number 22 for the Knights. It'll be Viking ball on the baseline.
I know. He was excited.
It's good for Benji Lucas. Currently at a timeout. Officials timeout for injury. Just let you know, Jackie's ice cream is in the bottom tonight. Chick-fil-A. Tom, you know what it's like to have Chick-fil-A, Jenny's ice cream, and Old Smokemeyer chocolate chip cookies. You can also get registered for Huntington County baseball or softball tonight in the main lobby. And you could join Tim Allen up in jail for both rounds. Tim, I am giving your bail, but obviously I'm busy right now, so have a great time there. I'll be reluctant to put somebody in jail. the cheerleaders at the sale in the main lobby tonight. Restrooms are located in the northeast and northwest corners of the arena, as well as adjacent to the concession stand in the main lobby. With those hot chocolate chip cookies, Josh, some Jenny's ice cream delivered to the scorer's table would really compliment things this evening. And Tim Allen, thanks for being such a good sport and spending a little time in jail to get that jail experience going for us tonight. There are great seniors and benefit tickets available tonight in the lobby. Be available up to the start of the varsity game. You want to be supportive of that family, and you can get those benefit tickets in the main lobby.
$2 for bail penalty. That's it? So I gotta go.
It'll be Viking basketball on the incline. be Viking basketball in flat court. puts McAfee at the line for the Knights. We've got Jenny's ice cream in the main lobby. We've got Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And of course, those unbelievable hot out of the oven chocolate chip cookies from Otis Spunkmeyer being sold by the cheerleaders. You can also get registered for Huntington County baseball and softball. And we've got more coming up this evening. The Vikings will be back in action next Tuesday when they host Bishop Moores here at Huntington North. The freshman and junior varsity games starting at 6 p.m.
It's a fundraiser. So you can pay money to put somebody in jail, and then that person has to raise that amount of money to get out of jail. Hi, my PJs. My dog. That's my dog. My dog. You got a golden doodle, toy poodle. Toy poodle. Okay, what's wrong with you? start until 7:30. So when that starts, when it gets to be 7:30, we get into it, and they can just change one letter in the address, and then change back. You'll notice when it'll turn black. Didn't know if you remembered or not. It's not quite that strong. I don't know that it'll hold it. I don't know that it's that strong. Yeah, it's not that strong. But the MagSafe things are also... It's designed to hook on to one of those, like...
Demonstrate your pride by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is promoting school spirit. This is making your community proud. This is your IHSAA.
We've been on the air since 1950, and now we're on the web.
www.hccsc.k12.in.us.
Select Huntington North from the drop-down menu.
And look for Viking Radio.
Or find us on the TuneIn Radio app.
Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH. It's time for Huntington North Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH. Before we head to the hardwood, we'd like to thank the following sponsors for making tonight's broadcast possible.
Vippus State Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, Hartberg Roth Garrett Halverstadt Law, Nove, Rich Roofing Systems, and Wise Guys Downtown.
Now let's head to the arena for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your home for Huntington North Sports, Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH.
Good afternoon, Huntington North listeners. I'm Ben Roth here with James Linker, and tonight the Huntington North Vikings are taking on the Norwell Knights in a classic NE8 battle here at Bob Strait Court.
Yeah, huge game tonight for Vikings fans. The Huntington North Vikings have a chance at just their third NE8 title since being put in the conference. Won it back in 16 and 17. Now a chance at least a share of the conference with a win here tonight against the Norwell Knights.
Yeah, coming into this game, Huntington North has had a great season so far. They're sitting 12-6, second in the NE8 conference, but they did beat the number one team in their last game, New Haven. They defeated New Haven 68-67 here at home. So a big win for Huntington North last, I believe it was a Saturday?
Yeah.
Last Saturday here for the Vikings. And so Huntington North had a great start to their basketball season.
Yeah, this matchup in the last 40 years, Norwell is leading the matchup just 14-13. Vikings win here tonight, ties that up in the battle between these two schools. Last year's game being just 60-52, fairly high scoring game here for these conference games. Usually we see very low scoring, outside of a New Haven win last week. But looking at that game last year, the Vikings scoring being led by Ethan Zahn. He had 26 that game. And then Dalton Husband had 11 and 8. Blaine Freiberger had 8 and 11 in that game. Just a little flip there between the two returning big men. But I think the big thing that helped the Vikings win that game was the 32 rebounds total, having 23 defensive rebounds to the Norwell Knights just 12 defensive rebounds and 21 on the game. Such a huge number that if they can continue that tonight, they did the same thing against New Haven last weekend. If they can do that again here tonight, I think this game will get pretty out of reach for the Knights.
Yeah, but historically, Norwell has been a pretty good program. Their coach, Michael McBride, has been there for 10 years at Norwell. He has 154 to an 85, so about almost a 2-to-1 win rate here. And so they're sitting 11-7 so far in the season. And they lead the all-time battle in the last 40 years between these two teams. Norwell has 14 compared to Huntington North 13. So very close in overall numbers, but Norwell's a great program. Yes, we're projected to win by a bigger margin. Huntington North is projected 62-48, but this is a team that only lost to New Haven by 6 points. So I think it could be a really good game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's so much that's going on here. There's a lot of fans here. Very packed house here for the Vikings. Norwell is just 20 to 30 minutes away from this. The schools are only 20 to 30 minutes away. So an easy way to get a good turnout out of an away team as well. A lot of people here, a lot of people excited. The pit is packed. The Vikings are ready to go. And I just think it's going to be a huge game. One thing that I thought that would be pretty interesting was in that game last year, Titus Schultz had just 4 points in that game. I spoke with him a couple days ago when he was getting a workout in, and he said that every time he's played Norwell, they have face guarded him. They've done whatever they can do to keep the ball out of his hands because they understand and they know that he's a very good shooter. They don't want him scoring the ball and just lighting it up on him. So I definitely think they're going to look to do that again tonight, but I think they also have to do the same thing to Braden Freiberger. Braden Freiberger's had phenomenal games in these last couple weeks. He's been so huge for the Vikings. Scored 20 points in the win against New Haven. In that game, there was 5 scorers for the Vikings that were above 10 points. 5 guys in double digits. That's tough to do, especially in a game like that against a great defensive team in the Bulldogs. But I think the Vikings have a great chance at putting up a lot of points here against these Knights. And you have to look at Braden Freiberger and Titus Schultz, see which guy they're going to decide, okay, we got to guard him up and down the court, no matter what, deny him the ball. I'm excited to see how that's going to pan out and who for the Vikings is going to step up in the absence of one of those two guys.
Yeah, and I think it could be anybody. We talk about if one guy doesn't have a good game, it just moves on to the next person. Anyone on this Huntington North court can go off and have a great game, and we've seen that many times. When people are face guarding Dalton and Titus, it'll be Braden Freiberger or Grant Campbell that'll have a monster game, and vice versa. So I think it's going to be hard, but I got to catch up with Coach Thompson to kind of see what he thinks coming into this basketball game. Coming off a giant win at home versus New Haven, can you recap that game for us?
Tight game at the end for sure. Game of runs, and we would get the run early, then they'd come storming back. I thought our guys did a great job of being focused, and maybe on paper they're the best team in the conference. Columbia City's up there too on paper, and I thought we did a great job of playing our game when we needed to. So we're going to have to do that again tonight.
What can you tell us about Norwell and their basketball program?
Great coach, Mike McBride, and I go clear back to the 80s and junior high playing against each other, and he's doing a great job. They are in every game. They lost to their record's similar to ours. They're 11 wins. We got 12. They lost to New Haven by 6, so that kind of tells the tale. They know what to do, when to do it, and we need to make sure that they have all kinds of trouble on both ends of the floor trying to get that done.
What has been the main focus of improvement for the Vikings during practice this week, and what are some key areas on the floor that the Vikings need to dominate?
It's real nice that our guys were focused and just continue to get sharper at what we do. Just come out and play some basketball, and don't worry about we got a shot at the NE8 conference title, be it share with New Haven, or if we can win and East Noble can knock them off, we get it by ourselves. But we just need to take care of us, and had a great week of practice for that.
Are there any lineup changes or matchups that you need to kind of look to exploit here tonight?
No lineup changes on our end, and the two coaches' sons are very good, very fundamental players, do a great job, and they got some nice supporting cast. So we better show up. The Knights will mix it up, man-to-man, half-court zones. They'll press us, run and jump us. We'll just have to be awake and focus and see what happens.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Hey, thank you, Ben. We'll talk to you after.
Yeah, so like you said, giving a lot of credit to Norwell. They're doing a great job overall, and this will be a tight game. Both these teams are great coming into this basketball game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I like how Coach said the Knights play very well. They have two guys that are the coach's sons, but those are their best two players. Both guys averaging Josh McBride, a sophomore, averaging almost 20 points a game at 19.7, and then also almost 7 rebounds a game at 6.8. And then you look at Nick McBride, who's a junior. He's averaging 13.7 points per game, and then he's shooting 37% from 3. If I'm not mistaken, Josh McBride, the younger one, is also shooting right around 35% from 3. So both guys are definitely who you need to guard up on if you're the Vikings. So much going on. They're going to shoot the ball a lot. They've shown it in games past. The team is averaging 57 points a game, but they're also giving up 55 points per game. Very close margin there, especially for being a 11-7 basketball team. The record's very similar to Huntington North. But you have to look at those guys. The Vikings are going to have to guard up on the 2 and know that those are their main scorers.
Yeah, I just would say Huntington North coming in second in the NE8, second in their sectional as well. And here on the flip side, Norwell, they're sitting third in their sectional and fifth in the NE8. So a little lower on the standards. Even though it's a 1-game difference in overall record, Huntington North has done a much better job within the NE8. Huntington North, they've lost to DeKalb. Was it just DeKalb? Was that our only loss? Yep. So 1 loss to DeKalb for Huntington North. They're looking to finish it out here and have a chance at a shared title. And if New Haven were to lose tonight, that would be Huntington North's rightfully so, because that would be New Haven's second loss.
Yeah, and, a crazy thing that I was thinking about earlier was with the way the conference standings are, Columbia City and Columbia City and Norwell are both sitting at 2 losses as of right now. The Vikings and New Haven are both sitting at 1 loss. If New Haven lost, Huntington North lost, that would mean that Norwell won, and if Columbia City wins, that'll be a 4-way NE8 title tie. That would be probably the first time that that's ever happened, or at least one of the first times that would ever happen. That would be, obviously, we don't want that to happen here as Vikings fans. We want a huge win tonight, and then hopefully a New Haven loss, and if not, either way, the Vikings share that title. But just an interesting stat that I was looking at earlier, for sure, and would be very, very, very cool.
Yeah, I really think that this crowd here for Huntington North, we have filled out this entire arena pretty much. I think the crowd's going to be a big difference because when Huntington North traveled to Columbia City and they had a big crowd here against New Haven, it mattered. It really brings life to this Huntington North basketball team, really brings energy. So I think with this crowd here at Huntington North, it's going to be a great one for the Vikings.
Yeah, if we look at a little bit of the stats here for the Vikings, just some general stuff. Titus Schultz now averaging 15.7 points per game. We've seen that number drop pretty significantly. He started off the year at right around 21, 22 points per game. And teams have figured him out a little bit. They know that he's our scorer. He's going to shoot the ball. He wants the ball in his hands. But I do think he's done a great job at just utilizing what is given to him. He shoots the ball when he's open. He makes the right play. He drives. He'll pass the ball off. He's been such a great team player.
Very unselfish.
Yes, he has been extremely unselfish. Has not been feeling like he needs to score every single point because he knows that a guy like Braden, a guy like Grant, being other guards can score. They can dribble, drive. They can get shots off. And he's been super unselfish. Done a great job at just utilizing his teammates. And then we look at Dalton Husband. He's averaging 13 points a game and 7 rebounds a game. That number is it's stayed right around the same. I think it's dropped a little bit in the points. However, he's just having a great season. He's showing presence in the post. He does a great job at getting to the free throw line. Now, yes, he needs to make more free throws. Pretty low percentage there. But Dalton has done a great job at using his passing ability, using his great IQ on the basketball floor to be able to get the ball to his teammates on back cuts and on relocating threes. And then Braden Freiberger is the next guy up at 9 points per game. That number has definitely gone up there for the Vikings. He's doing a phenomenal job in these last couple games, putting up a lot of points, doing what he can to keep the Vikings in the lead when they need it. The one thing I will say about him is he is a sophomore, so he's a little out of control at times, but he does a great job at just being an athlete, being a basketball player, and he's also second in rebounds here for the Vikings with 5 per game.
Yeah, and when you touch on him being out of control a little bit, it doesn't look sloppy, though. I think he just takes great shots and he might be moving a little fast, but he either finds the right open man or takes a pretty decent shot for Huntington North, and that can be said about all the players on the floor. I don't think there's bad shots ever taken. You see a lot of good driving, attacking layups by Campbell. You see a lot of great shots out of Titus Schultz. Obviously, Dalton Husband is great down in the post, and Blaine Freiberger is just great as well on some nights. And then you have to flip it to the defensive end. Blaine Freiberger is an amazing defender, and I would say so is Dalton Husband. That post presence is going to be tough for Norwell tonight. Norwell's going to have trouble getting layups, so they have to rely beyond the arc. And I would say that's where the McBrides come in a little bit, some great athletes out of them. But Huntington could dominate on defense with their size and length for sure.
Yeah, it'll take a lot of shooting ability. I think with a lot of teams that Huntington North plays, it takes a lot of three-point makes, takes a lot of jumpers that they will have to make in order to give the opposing team that lead. It's tough for the Vikings when a team is just shooting super well. It's hard to come back when it's just 3-ball after 3-ball. But if the Vikings can play great defense down low, you got to force a team to shoot, tip your cap when they make them. And then get back down on offense and get your own shot up. Great shot. And I think Coach Thompson does a great job at keeping his guys fresh, knowing that they can attack offensively and be extremely, extremely valuable on the floor. And I'm excited to see the way that Coach has, that game plan offensively and defensively for the Vikings.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick moment. Our ROTC is going to present our nation's colors, then we'll sing the national anthem. Yeah, so here for Huntington North tonight, it's going to be the usual. It's going to be Grant Campbell starting at guard for Huntington North. Just a great attacking guard, does great with the ball in the backcourt, and really starts this offense out. Then it's going to be Braden Freiberg, that sophomore we were talking about, 6'4", 9.8 points per game. Just a real key player for Huntington North. He's definitely that third option. You got Titus Schultz, a very quick and fast, agile guard. Is really good overall and really sets the tone for Huntington North. And then you're going to drop down to the bigs. You're going to have Dalton Husband and Blaine Freiberger, both senior post players who are great for Huntington North tonight for our starting five.
Yeah, and, looking at the Knights, just their roster in general, they have one senior on this team. The rest of the team being strictly juniors and sophomores. I mean, that's crazy. That's good when you're a coach and you have so many young guys that contribute to your team. You get a little excited for those next couple years, that next year or two, when you know that you're going to have guys that are experienced on the varsity level and you don't have to worry about them not being where you need them to be. Probably something that Coach McBride talks about a lot, or has a lot of good feelings about. I'll be excited to see if this young team is able to step up in a big game like it is. They're just coming into this game trying to attack the Vikings and take away a chance at that conference.
Yeah, here for the Norwell Knights, it's going to be number 4, Cooper Bunn, the sophomore forward. He's averaging around 6 points per game. Then you're going to drop down. It's going to be Drew Jolly, junior forward, 6'1", 6.2 points per game. So far, 2 great players. Then you're going to bump down to Josh McBride, one of the coach's sons, sophomore, 19.7 points per game. Really the key to this offense. Then it's going to jump up to number 32. Number 24, Nick McBride, junior guard, 6 foot, 14 points per game. So it's really the McBride brothers here for Norwell. And to round out this lineup, we're going to finish with number 30, Noah Comer, 4.1 points per game. He's a senior forward, 6'1".
Yeah, being their only senior, I'm curious to see how he's going to lead this team. Is he going to take a little bit of accountability during the game with ups and downs?
Yeah, and Huntington North, they're about to announce their starting lineup. You can just hear the crowd here tonight for Huntington North. It is going to be electric in this gymnasium.
Yeah, excited to see it. How are these fans going to contribute to this game? This entire first 2 rows on the bottom floor are absolutely filled. Such a great turnout. Even this upstairs area, so many more people than you could ever even imagine coming to this game. And then you also have the middle schoolers. They're behind the bench, behind the reserves there for the Vikings, freshman and JV teams. But, man, there's just a huge turnout here for the Vikings. It's going to be an amazing game. I think this crowd is going to be electric.
Yeah, and Huntington North, like you said, the same starting lineup. I would love to see a lot of attacking out of this offense. Really get the pace going. I'd love to see some steals and pushing the pace up and down the court. I think Huntington North, the speed is in their hands tonight, and I think they just need to play their pace in this basketball game and find Norwell falling behind.
Yeah, I think, looking at the Norwell starters, they don't look too big. There's not a guy in that area that's as big as either Blaine Freiberger or Dalton Husband. I don't know who they're going to use to be that enforcer down low and, combat those 2 big guys that the Vikings have. It's going to take a lot of teamwork and team defense there for the Knights if they want to hold their own against a very athletic and very big Vikings starting lineup.
Yeah, I think Dalton and Blaine could very much dominate down in the post as well. I don't think it has to be all run and gun. I think if we set up that offense down below, Dalton Husband has just great post awareness to land some good layups. But both these teams will take the center court, and we'll see who will win this tip. It's going to be Husband and Comer in the center court. Husband is going to come away with this ball. He tips it off to Campbell. Campbell in the backcourt. Looks like a 2-3 zone here out of Norwell. Campbell attacks the right side, tries to get it in, almost turns the ball over. Regains possession, gets it off to Husband. Some chaos here early in Bob Strait court. They find Freiberger in the corner. He gets trapped, dumps it down to Husband. Husband lays it up and almost an and one, but he'll have a pair of free throws for Huntington North.
Yeah, there's that height out of Dalton Husband already being shown. That nobody on that floor is as tall as he is, and he just brings that ball so much higher than what the other guys can reach. Getting to a foul there for now 2 shots. It looks like the Knights are coming out in a zone early in this game to try and put pressure on the Vikings. I'm sure they've watched a little bit of film and seen how that works with some other teams.
Yeah, I think their strat is going to have to be slow the Viking offense down and try to outscore them. You know, when you see that 2-3 zone, that's almost like a sign of weakness. They're asking you to shoot that 3-point shot. But then at the same time, if Schultz gets hot, it could be over. 2 great free throws out of Dalton Husband. He drains both of those back-to-back. Huntington North 2, Knights 0. 7:30 left in the first. In the backcourt, it's McBride. He passes it off to Comer. Comer attacks the right side, and that is a turnover to Husband. Husband has green grass in front of him. He goes up and almost gets the and one in and out for Huntington North. He'll be sent to the line once again.
Yeah, it would have been a crazy and one there. Dalton Husband, full head of steam. Just him and the sophomore Josh McBride going at it there at the rim. You know, Josh McBride's a pretty tall guy at 6'1". He's playing a lot of guard there for the Knights. That's great height there for them, especially as a guard. It's tough to have a guy that's that tall, and for him to be such a good shooter is really a cool thing. But nothing on Dalton Husband early. Already 4 free throws there for him.
Yeah, and he has made 3 out of the 4, so far a great turnout from the line for Husband. This is going to be inbounded to Nick McBride. McBride in the backcourt, picked up by Campbell at half. Campbell forcing him off to the left. He hands it off to Comer. Comer attack, brings it over to the right side. He's going to pass it off. He dumps it down. That's another turnover for the Knights. They are rattled here early, as it is almost a turnover. Huntington North saved. They find Freiberger. He shot fakes, chucks it across the court to Schultz. Schultz finds Campbell in the corner. He attacks baseline, picked up by Schultz. Schultz will set up this offense for Huntington North. 3-0. Huntington North up here early in this basketball game. Campbell gets it off. Huntington
Here comes
North
a lob to Freiberger. Nope, didn't get it.
Did not get it. Huntington North just setting this ball out beyond the arc. And this is Freiberger attacking. He tries to lay it in. Almost picked up by Husband, but rebounded by Bunn. Bunn will pass it up the court to McBride. McBride attacking. Finds his brother in the corner. Nick McBride brings it back up to the top of the key. Pass it off to Comer. Norwell setting up this offense. Nothing too far down in the paint so far. They pass it up to Jolly. Jolly finds McBride for a deep 3, and that will fall for Nick McBride. He will tie it up here early.
Yeah, they're going to get those threes to fall. The Vikings really got to get hands up at least to alter those shots. If not, it's going to be very tough for the Vikings.
Yeah, Schultz on the left wing. It looks like more of still a 2-3 here on defense. Huntington North just moving it up around the top, trying to tire out these Norwell Knights. They get it down to Husband, and that is off the bottom of the backboard. This is going the other way with the Knights. This is McBride attacking. He's in the center paint. He tries to dump it down, and that is going to be Huntington North basketball.
Yeah, a little weird play there. It looks like Cooper Bunn just kind of hit the deck while trying to catch that ball. Dalton Husband right on his hip. Would have been a tough layup there with Dalton right behind him. But either way, now Vikings ball.
Yeah, Campbell in the backcourt for Huntington North, passes it off to Schultz. Schultz going for a lob to Freiberger, and that layup does not fall for Huntington North.
Man, there was that lob play and just in and out. Freiberger not quite able to finish.
Josh McBride looking to get hot. He misses that deep 3. That's going to be a Huntington North. That is a foul, I believe, on number 22. Is that Josh McBride? On number 30, Noah Comer.
Yeah, just a little loose ball foul there. You see those a lot, especially when both teams are being aggressive towards those rebounds. Those fouls usually aren't ones that you can get too upset about, but Titus Schultz, a great job of handling that one.
So far, fouls for 3-0, but they find Husband down in the paint, and he lays that in for the 2. Huntington North now with a 2-point lead. This is Nick McBride in the backcourt, full court press by Campbell. McBride going off to the right side, shows his back. Not going anywhere, though. Almost looking for a back cut. He passed it off to his brother, who finds a Jolly. Jolly goes for the leg, and he gets the foul call. That'll be 2 shots.
Yeah, Jolly just kind of ran into Freiberger there. Freiberger being a bigger body, just kind of took that one and accepted the foul call. Just the first there for Freiberger. He needs to stay in this game for the Vikings to continue to be aggressive, especially down low. Can't get into too much foul trouble. We've seen it all year. He likes to do that. He likes to get himself into those bad spots. But not a bad one there from Freiberger.
Yeah, Drew Jolly will make the first to cut it to 1-point lead. Huntington North still up 1, 4:57 left in the first. Jolly shoots the second, and he makes out as well. It is all tied up here at Bob Strait Court. Huntington North inbounds the ball to Grant Campbell. Campbell taking it up the center line, passes it off to Freiberger. Freiberger back to Campbell. Huntington North sticking with this offense around the arc, trying to force something. Schultz with a deep three, does not fall. Rebounded by Husband. Husband gets it stripped from him. They turn it over, though, to Campbell. Campbell attacking the middle, a little jump shot, and it is in and out. Another offensive rebound, and that's Freiberger. Another offensive rebound, and finally, Huntington North gets it to fall through with an and one out of Husband.
Wow, Dalton Husband now with 7 of 7 from the Vikings points. All of the points there coming from him. And now, man, Josh McBride, 2 fouls with only halfway through this first quarter. That is going to be something that the Knights are going to have to look at. They need to keep him out of foul trouble if they want to score points in this game.
Yeah, and Husband now 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Huntington North 3-point lead, 4:30 left. 4 fouls out of the Knights with almost 5 minutes left in the first. This could be trouble for Norwell. This is Jolly with the ball at the top of the key. He passes it off to McBride for a deep one. Doesn't fall. Rebounded by Schultz. Schultz bringing up the court, moving with some speed and some pace. He's going to pull it back out, pass it up to Freiberger. Huntington North setting up this offense. Campbell at the top of the key. Being patient, waiting to strike. A 2-3 zone. 4 minutes left on the clock. Schultz top of the key, gets it off to Freiberger. Freiberger tries to get it into his brother, and it's an all-out battle for this ball, but that is going to be a jump ball, and that is going to be Knights basketball.
Yeah, but it's a tough pass. They wanted to get it down there. They had Campbell at the short corner there with Blaine Freiberger there a little higher than the block. They wanted to space that out a little bit, see who they could get it to, and Braden trying to get it to his brother. Couldn't quite handle it. 2 guys on the ball. It's an easy jump ball call.
Yeah, Thornton and Richardson will check into the game for the Knights. This is McBride on the right wing. He tries to dump it down to Bunn. Bunn misses it, passes it out. This is Thornton with the basketball. Thornton gets it in to Bunn. Bunn at the top of the key. Bunn ripping down the right side. Going to the paint, passes it out to Thornton. And then a deep 3 out of Richardson, and he is going to drain that one. All tied up here. 8-8, 3:22 left in the first.
Yeah, Jack Richardson, that's a big 3 there for the Knights. He's just averaging 2.5 points a game, already passing that mark here in the first quarter.
Yeah, big time 3 out of the junior. Schultz with a deep one here. That doesn't fall. Rebounded by Husband. Husband attacking the center. Husband going up, and it doesn't fall. Rebounded by Schultz, though. Huntington with a lot of offensive rebounds here early. Campbell shot fakes, gets it to Schultz. Schultz down to Freiberger. Back to Campbell for the 3. Just missed. Rebounded by Husband again. Actually, it's Freiberger for the lay, and Huntington North will capitalize on that old board.
Man, in the last 2 possessions, the Vikings are with, 6 offensive rebounds? They're just going to work down low off of those shots.
Yeah, McBride passes this one off to Bunn. Bunn on the top of the key. He passes it into Thornton. Thornton over to McBride. McBride with a deep 3, and it is short, but it's picked up by Norwell Knight. McBride will have a second chance, and then he will capitalize on that one as well. First lead of the night here for the Knights.
Yeah, it's tough to give a guy the exact same shot twice in a row. That thing's most likely going to fall, especially as good of a shooter as he is.
This is Campbell. Ball at the top of the key. He finds Freiberger. Huntington North taking a couple 3s. So far, they haven't found any. Freiberger chucks it across to Schultz. Schultz attacking baseline. He gets it in to Husband. Husband back out to Freiberger for the 3, and that one will fall for the sophomore.
Yeah, finally here, the Vikings get a 3-ball to fall. It comes out of Braden Freiberger's first 3-point shot. Such a huge shot out of a young guy.
This is going to be McBride attacking the right side. Pass it out to Thornton. Thornton up to Richardson. Richardson shot fakes. Gets it over to McBride. Huntington North playing some stellar defense. It's Richardson at the top of the key. He gets it to McBride for a deep one, and that will fall for the McBride brothers.
Man, they're just lighting it up early here. They're going to score a lot of points in this game if the Vikings keep giving up open shots.
Campbell, top of the key, gets it off to Freiberger. Huntington North continuing to be patient. Patience is key for this Huntington North offense. Schultz attacking the right wing. A little jump shot out of Schultz, and that will go in for the junior.
So much confidence out of him. Huge shot, putting the Vikings back in the lead.
This is McBride, guarded by Campbell. Then it's pass to his brother. He rips baseline and throws it up. Can't fall. Rebounded by Schultz. Schultz moving the other way. Schultz one-on-one, attacking the center. A little floater, and that will go in. 49 seconds left in the first. Huntington 15, Knights 14. Huntington North 1 point lead.
Schultz doing a great job not getting the three ball to fall, but he knows that jumper is also part of his game. Finding 2 jump shots early in this game is huge for a shooter like him.
McBride on the right wing. He tries to pass it up, and it is turned over. Husband's going the other way, one-on-one. He goes up strong, and it will fall. Huntington North 19 to Knights 14. 23 seconds left in the first. This is going to be Thornton in the backcourt. Thornton attacking the right side, spins back, passes it to McBride. McBride to his brother, left wing, guarded by Freiberger. McBride attacking the middle, trying to go up strong. He loses it 7 seconds. Now he finds his lane, and he will draw the foul.
Yeah, I thought on that drive there he got a pretty nice little hook on his defender, but you don't see that play called a lot. There's a lot of hooks that happen in basketball games that the refs just kind of be like, oh, okay, whatever, that's fine. But 2 shots. He took a hard fall, kind of holding his elbow, his non-shooting arm elbow there after that play. But Blaine Freiberger now with 2 fouls. He's going to come out of the game there for Brody Bolin.
Yeah, he'll have to take a seat as sophomore. Brody Bolin will check this game. Bolin is a very tall, lengthy center, a little less size than what Freiberger is, but he is a great basketball player for Huntington North. Both those free throws will be made for the Knights. It's a 3-point game, 4 seconds left. What can Huntington North do in crunch time? Campbell going in quick. Campbell spots up, finds Schultz. Schultz for 3. He almost finds it, but can't quite get it.
Yeah, the Knights wanting a flop there out of Schultz. Schultz just kind of fell on the play. He wasn't really looking for a foul. I don't think you can really call those flops when it wasn't much of a play. I think he just wanted to hit the deck, get a little show in there. But almost makes it. There was a very close shot, but couldn't quite get the ball. Would have been a huge one to put the Vikings up by 6, but just 19-16 here after the first quarter. A lot more scoring than I would have said coming into this game. Projection-wise, it's looking to be 60 to 70 points out of both teams.
Yeah, that's what they've been averaging here for the Knights. They're averaging 57.1 points per game. So it's very doable out of both these teams, and we know Huntington North can get hot, like we saw 68-67 here against New Haven. So when Huntington North finds their groove, it can be a high-scoring game. It's who can keep up. And so that's why I think they're playing down in the 2-3 zone here for Norwell. They're trying to limit what Huntington North can do under the paint with our 2 bigs.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many more 3-point attempts the Knights are going to take. They're a 30% shooting, 3-point shooting team on the season, but the McBride brothers being the majority of that, both averaging north of 35% from the 3-point land. The Vikings have already given up a lot of threes. If they continue to give up that 3 ball, it could get scary because 3 points is more than 2. It doesn't take a genius to understand that, but it's tougher than it looks to guard that 3 ball, especially when there's 2 guys that are running around doing a great job at getting open off the screens. It's going to take a lot out of the Vikings to keep those 3s at a minimum.
Yeah, but if they stay in a 2-3 zone, we have weapons on the other end of the court. Braden Freiberger and Titus Schultz could definitely get hot as well. So I think it could either be a tough-fought defensive battle with not much 3-point, or it could be quite the opposite. Privet will check into the game for the Norwell Knights. They're looking at a trap here. Huntington with great ball handlers. They handle the pressure very well. Schultz telling Campbell to get back up at the top. They're looking to do some T-cuts. They'll screen away. Campbell top of the key. Campbell wide open, and it doesn't fall. Rebounded by Freiberger, who loses it. Picked up by Schultz. Schultz trying to go up strong. Schultz finds it, and it goes in for the junior.
That's a good play. Braden Freiberger, a great job at that backside rebounding, and in a zone defense, it's tough to guard that backside rebounding area.
Yeah, this is going to be Jolly at the top of the key. Passes it off to McBride. McBride up to Comer. Comer ripping off to the right side, trying to go down. Finds McBride in the corner for an open three, and you can't leave the McBride brothers open. That will be 3 points.
Yeah, Josh McBride with another three. He's already made, I think, 3 threes in this game, up right around 10 points. It's going to be tough if the Vikings can't guard it.
And that is a turnover out of Brody Bull, and this is Comer going the other way. They pass it off to Privet. Privet dribbling baseline, brings it back up top. Privet all over the place. He passes this one off to Jolly. Jolly, top of the key, passes it off to Privet. Privet ripping down the middle, gets it off to McBride. Great defense out of Huntington North. I mean, that is going to be a travel call. Great defense, as there's a round of applause out of the crowd for Huntington North Vikings defenders.
Yeah, great job there. Just keeping the Knights out of the lane. They didn't let any paint penetration during that entire possession. The only close was Privet coming from one wing all the way to the other, dribbling it over. But nothing there for the Knights. Vikings doing a great job at just keeping those guys out, not allowing any three-point shots.
Yeah, Blaine Freiberger will check back into this basketball game for Huntington North. A lot of trust here out of Coach Thompson. Freiberger finds Campbell. Campbell wide open for 3. Doesn't fall, though. And that is going to be a foul on Freiberger.
Wow, that was a little scuffle there. Freiberger now his 3rd foul on that rebound attempt. They were just getting a little bit of a block out there from Comer. Comer a lot smaller than Freiberger. Freiberger kind of had an arm around his neck. Couldn't quite tell. I didn't see it early enough to see what exactly happened, but Freiberger's not going to come back out of the game.
Yeah, that's one of those things I wish I had a replay just to know what really happened. You know, you just see 2 guys on the ground. As a referee, you have to call it one way or the other. And unfortunately for Freiberger, it's going to be pinned on him. Huntington North 21, Knights 19, 6:15 left before halftime. This is going to be McBride in the backcourt, guarded by Campbell. McBride gets a screen. He's at the top of the key, crossing back over, passes it off to Bunn. Bunn gets it off to Jolly. Jolly finds McBride in the corner, and he misses that one. A rare miss out of the McBride brother. This is Freiberger. He finds Schultz wide open. Schultz ripping baseline. Pass it back out to Campbell. Campbell shot fakes. They find Schultz wide open, and you can't leave him that open, as that one will find the bottom of the net.
Yeah, Campbell, a great job. Knows he hasn't shot it well yet this game. He's had 3 open looks, hasn't made it. Passed that one up, got his teammate open, and it's a great shot by Schultz.
Yeah, McBride kind of in a pickle there. He passes this one off to Comer. Comer guarded by Bolin. Comer finds McBride in the corner. He's looking to take another 3, passes it out to Comer. Comer back to McBride. McBride moving around, passes it off to Bunn. Bunn brings it back up top. Bunn finds McBride. A lot of movement out of the Knights here. Some great defense out of Huntington North. And it's going to fall out of bounds on Huntington North, so it'll stay on this end for the Knights.
Yeah, they had a little trap there between Dalton Husband and Braden Freiberger. Knew that the McBride, that Josh McBride isn't, or excuse me, that's Nick McBride isn't quite as big as the 2 of them. So they trapped him in that corner. Tried to create a turnover, but ultimately it's a great stop of possession by them.
Yeah, Norwell gets it in pretty easily to Jolly. Jolly guarded by Bolin. Great defense out of Bolin. They pass it off to McBride. McBride attacking the left side. It's off of a foot, and it's going to be on the ground. Great hustle out of Aaron Grog. They're going to call a foul on Grog.
Yeah, both guys, that ball's on the ground. Both guys are going for it. A little bit of contact, and they just instantly call that on Grog. That's a tough one to really determine what happened there. Really, I thought it could have been more of an over and back there by the Knights. Jolly jumps on that ball and slides right across half court. It's a tough one. It's hard to determine what exactly happens on that play, but it's going to stay Knights ball. Just the first foul there for Grog.
They immediately get it into Jolly. Jolly kind of struggling here. They get it off to McBride as there's a little scuffle there, but Aaron Grog, a great defender, face guarding McBride. Aaron Grog letting no space in between as this McBride has a little space on the baseline. Can't find anything. They get it out to McBride on the other short corner. McBride struggling to get it across. That's going to be a foul on Huntington North. Wow.
Yeah, another foul there on Aaron Grog. Coming in. This is his first appearance of the game already. Oh, excuse me. That'll be on Brody Bolin. The way Grog looked, it looked like it would have been on him, but Brody Bolin getting a foul. Grog is being very aggressive defensively, and that's what you have to do against these McBride brothers.
Yeah, they get it into Jolly, guarded by Bolin. Jolly attacking a turnover here as Husband has nothing in front of him. He's going in for the layup as he slaps the backboard. I just want to see a dunk out of that kid.
Yeah, he's got to throw that one down. Either way, these Vikings fans are excited for it. He'll get one eventually.
Yeah, this is McBride. He finds Jolly wide open for the up and under layup as Jolly finds that little lay. Huntington North 26, Knights 21. 4 minutes left before half. They get it off to Schultz. Schultz back up to Grog. Over to Campbell. Huntington North moving this one up and around, kind of around this 2-3 zone. Schultz has a little space, and he misses that three, rebounded by Campbell. Campbell passes it to Grog at the top of the key. Grog has the ball, being patient. Huntington North not trying to be too aggressive. Huntington North, a lot of just passing around the top as Grog will finally take a shot. And it is bouncing around the rim, just doesn't quite fall. Great rebound out of Huntington North, and that is off Huntington North hands. And they're going to call it Huntington North basketball, though.
Man, Dalton Husband, a great effort there, getting that rebound, just tipping it back and forth with the Knights. He had 4 guys around him, and he's the one that ultimately got it to tip away to his teammate there by Schultz. And just an unfortunate little break there for the Knights.
Yeah, Campbell has the basketball in the corner. 26-21, 3 minutes before half. They get it in Husband. Husband down to Bolin. Bolin lays in the 2. Doesn't fall, though. Rebounded by the Knights. Actually, it's on the floor as McBride finds it. He gets it off to Jolly. Jolly back to McBride. McBride over to his brother, Josh. Josh attacking the center. Going in for the lay. Almost blocked by Husband, I believe it was. And then it's going to be moving the other way quickly with Freiberger. Freiberger attacking the middle. Freiberger going up. Doesn't fall. Rebounds his own basketball. This is going to be McBride on his back, but he will get the foul.
Yeah, Braden trying to kind of out of control there on that shot. Not the greatest little floater attempt that you'll see, but a great job at following his shot, getting a 3rd foul there on Josh McBride early in this game.
Grog wide open in the corner. It does not fall for the sophomore, though. Man, that one looked good. This is going to be McBride attacking the center. McBride gets a screen. McBride guarded by Husband as he just chucks one up, and wow, I mean, it did go in. 2-point lead for Huntington North.
That's a great shot by a great shooter. It's tough to guard a guy when he can shoot off the dribble like that. It's quick release, just got it to fall.
Yeah, Grog has ball. They get it into Bolin. Bolin at the high post. It's kind of 4-on-1 as they're just raking in on his arm, but they get it to Campbell. Campbell with the 3, and it doesn't fall. Rebounded by Husband. Husband lays in the 2, though. Huntington North pushes it to 4.
Yeah, these offensive rebounds are killing the Knights already in this game. You know, it's just a 4-point game, but so many points coming off of that those second chance opportunities. Vikings, great job underneath to get their own rebounds.
Nick McBride passes this one off to Drew Jolly. Jolly at the top of the key. And that is going to be a turnover here for the Knights. 3-man sub. It's going to be Trey Privet, Jack Richardson, and to round it out, it's going to be Noah Comer. So it's Comer, Privet, Richardson, Bunn, and McBride on the court.
Yeah, Josh McBride having to come out of this game, being their leading scorer. He's in foul trouble early. Got to keep an eye on him.
Campbell ball at the top of the key, pass it off to Schultz. Minute 45 left. Husband finds Schultz. Schultz wide open for 3, just short. Rebounded by Privet. Privet in the backcourt, attacking the left side. Gets a big screen out of McBride. Privet on the left wing, guarded by Campbell. He's attacking center. He finds McBride. McBride down to Richardson. Richardson up and under. He passes it out to Bunn. Bunn for 3, miss. Rebounded by Comer. Comer up, miss. And that is going to be a pushing foul on Huntington North.
Another blockout foul. Man, this Huntington North blockout, they're being so aggressive, and I think they're just so much stronger than these Norwell players. They're just throwing them on the ground. It gets a little too easy at that point. And it'll be Comer at the line to shoot to. I don't know if he was the one that shot it and they called the foul on that.
Yeah, I think that's what they were calling it on. So Comer will get a pair of free throws. I mean, if you're just I don't know how you can call that foul unless you're in his landing zone, because I know that is a call in the NBA. He misses both of them, though. Huntington North still up 1 as he made 1. Huntington North still up 3. Schultz up to Campbell. Campbell finds bad turnover here out of Campbell. Then it's number 14, Jolly, bring it up the court. McBride. McBride guarded by Freiberger. Braden doing a great job. 59 seconds. They get it down to Jolly. Jolly back to McBride. McBride over to Privet. Privet down below. Passes this one out to Comer. Comer up to McBride. Huntington North, some great defense. There's 45 seconds is still left on this clock. McBride gets it down to Bunn, and Bunn will land the 2. 1 point game. 38 seconds left. Campbell top of the key, sticking with the 2-3 zone. Huntington North being patient. I think they're going to dwindle this clock down and take the last shot.
Yeah, the Knights not coming out and guarding at all. They haven't done it yet. They've been very compact within the three-point line. I think they're just going to let the Vikings run out this clock and take the last shot.
They're calling their play. Coach Thompson telling his guys that they set it up. 10 seconds left. They get it over to Freiberg. Freiberger back to Campbell. Campbell ripping baseline. 4 seconds left. Campbell turns it over as Privet's going to have a half-court heave. He does not get it off and it's blocked by Husband. 1 point lead for Huntington North at halftime.
Yeah, it's a tough. It's not where the Vikings want to be. They only scored 9 points in that second quarter. They couldn't get three-pointers to fall. The only things they were getting are off of the rebounds and a couple free throws, but the Vikings just not able to shoot. Titus Schultz has shot a lot of threes and only made one. It was a wide open one in the corner. Just not finding it there from behind the arc out of a kid who has shot the ball so well this season. He did a great job in that first quarter at finding other ways to score. Just not able to do it there in the second.
Yeah, Huntington North, I think, just lost a little confidence. I mean, McBride's were hitting some big-time threes. That's really what brought it back to a closer game after that first quarter. And then this defense here, this 2-3 zone out of Norwell is very outstanding.
Yeah, it's tough when the Vikings can't get the ball in the paint. They do so well at getting the ball to guys like Blaine Freiberger and Dalton Husband in the post, and then passing off of that. It's so huge to be able to pass from the post the way that they do, and I think Coach McBride has done a great job at preventing them from getting the ball down low. It's going to take a lot of strength and a lot of excitement there out of the Vikings. They're going to have to turn up a little bit.
Yeah, this 2-3 zone is just keeping Huntington North out of down below. I mean, Husband, even though he's had a lot of points here tonight, we haven't seen much out of Freiberg. He's been a little bit quiet here early, and just some great defense out of Norwell. I mean, that's all it is. Both these teams are striking on offense. Huntington North up 1, but here late in this quarter, it felt like Norwell was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, looking at just got the stat sheet here. Looking at the Knights, between the two McBrides, Josh being the McBride who's averaging 20 points. He's the younger, the sophomore. Just 5 points on the day. He's had to sit a lot. He's only taken 4 shots, but he's had to sit a lot because of his foul trouble. Just 13 minutes so far in this game. And then Nick McBride, 12 points. He's played all 16 minutes of this basketball game so far. Having a lot of minutes. He's running around a lot. He's got a little bit of that Steph Curry's play style. He's going to run around, run off screens, and get three-pointers. But we look at that rebound total between the two teams. We talked about it earlier. We knew it was going to be a crazy margin there. But 17 rebounds for the Vikings to the Knights 10. And the Vikings with 11 offensive rebounds in that first half. That's a huge number that's going to be game-changing. If the Vikings can score and put points up off of the second chance opportunities, they've scored 9 already on the second chance points. They have to continue to put that ball back in the basket. They have the guys to get the rebounds. It's just a matter of scoring, a matter of being aggressive. And then we look at the Vikings. Titus Schultz with 9 points. He's 3 for 3 from 2-point land, but from 3, he's 1 for 6. The Vikings overall 2 for 13 from 3. The Knights doing a great job at forcing them to shoot those outside shots. And then Dalton Husband, 14 points. We knew he had all the points early in the game, but 14 is a great number. He's 4 for 5 from free throw. He's shot all of them so far for the Vikings. Just a great showing, great start to this game for him.
Yeah, we got some news here. New Haven is up 17-4 on East Noble, so it's looking like they're going to dominate in that first half against East Noble, doing a great job. And then on the flip side of things, we had 2 teams that were in the center court. The girls wrestling team brought home a state title, I believe, and then the boys swim team came in with a conference championship. First time for a while here for the Huntington North boys, as they just really dominated our conference.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this week's episode of Commissioner's Corner with IHSA Commissioner Paul Nadig. You're listening to Huntington North Viking Basketball on Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH. brought to you by Hartberg, Roth, Garrett, Haberstadt Law, and Nove Corporation.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome into the Commissioner's Corner, our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, always great to be with you. And hey, this last week, snow, ice, that was the name of the game. And, you know, I made this comment, Paul, on Indiana Sports Talk. I was pleasantly surprised with how many games that were actually played last weekend. That's a credit to all the essential workers, the folks at every community school, the teams, the referees. I think we got a lot more action than anticipated. How about you?
Well, we did. And, you know, ADs does such a wonderful job of preparing their communities. And it's like anything else. Next person up, we're going to fix it. We're going to go. And so some games were moved to Friday night to get out in front of the storm. Some games were moved to earlier in the day to try to get out in front of the storms. And then once the weather got here, you know, we watched it snow for several hours, you know, and I do want to give a great shout out to our essential workers that, you know, the police, the people who remove the snow, the city workers, you know, so many people work hard within their communities, the custodial staff at each high school that gets schools ready to go and ready to open back up. And they do a great job. And without all of those essential people, we wouldn't be able to participate anytime this week. But we're getting ready to turn lights back on and go play some more games here the rest of this week.
Yeah, just to follow up, I think that's just a good reminder and example, no matter what sport it is, whether it's in the fall with thunder and lightning with football or, you know, getting around with the snow in the winter, there's a lot of moving parts in all these situations, Paul, that have to go right, and people need to do great jobs to make these things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it only starts with a phone call to say we need to move a game, but then you have to reschedule buses. You also have to make sure that you can find officials to cover the contest if you move it to another date. There are just so many things that go into changing an event, changing a game. And again, it's a tribute to the great people in Indiana who do this work.
All right, Paul, let's talk shop with the girls basketball pairing show happening. Girls basketball state tournament sectionals coming up. Great time of year this February, anticipating a good tournament.
Yeah, we are. We had a great draw show on this past weekend, and, you know, we're ready to roll. You know, they say at this time of year where I come from, the hay's in the barn. You know, they've had their tune-ups, they worked hard, and now they're going to see if all that work this year leads to success in the tournament. And you know, some of the things it will not. We know that. So half the teams in Indiana get beat on the first night, but, you know, one thing we're so proud of are the enduring lessons that stay with our teams and the things that they learn with an education-based coach that lead them through the rest of their life.
A couple weeks ago, Paul, we were talking about the girls wrestling state finals and how much of a success that was. Boys wrestling coming up. So how do you guys look at what you did with girls wrestling and apply to what's coming up with the boys wrestling side?
Well, I think, you know, we certainly see the successes of the girls tournament, and, you know, the boys have enjoyed that success for quite a while. And so, you know, I think it kind of works the other way for us. I mean, we look at what we've done in the boys season traditionally, and we've applied that to the girls, but we also have to make sure we recognize the difference in each sport. And certainly the boys tournament's different than the girls, and they each have their own their own day, and we're ready to run a boys tournament kicking off this Saturday. So there'll be a lot of great wrestling across the state come this Saturday.
And coming up within the next month, the boys and girls swimming state tournaments, state finals coming up just in less than a month. You know, I think swimming and diving, one of the more unique things that you guys do, and one of the more special things that you guys do. Can you talk about the process of, you know, getting everything reserved for the swimming and diving state finals and what that means to you?
Well, you know, first of all, Indiana is blessed with incredible athletic facilities. You know, that's just what we do in Indiana. And the auditorium at IU Indy's campus is second to none when it comes to a facility, and our kids get to celebrate their state championship there. And so Carrie Rosati in our office is actually, I left her office a little bit ago. She's working hard on her swimming tournament coming up here, and we're excited to be able to offer that. And one of the things about our boys and girls swimming is there's almost every year another Olympian born. That comes through our state tournament, and we're excited to see who the next person is going to be that may be an Olympian for us in the future.
Paul, stay safe with the weather. Always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Brendan. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Welcome back, listeners. Huntington North Vikings are taking on the Norwell Knights in a boys basketball matchup at Bob Strait Court. Coming out of halftime, Huntington North is leading 28-27.
Yeah, it's been a good showing for both teams. The Knights have done a great job at keeping the ball out of the paint. They're forcing the Vikings to shoot a lot of threes, and the Vikings just 2 of 13 on the day. And the Knights are 6 of 12 from three, so they're getting three-point opportunities that the Vikings don't want them to have. They're giving those up, and it's a lot of open looks there for the Knights. The Knights, if I'm not mistaken, they've only had one lead throughout this entire game. There's only been 4 lead changes. So they've had 2 leads in this game. But the Vikings have really dominated. They dominated early and then kind of lost it a little bit. Now just a 1-point game, 28-27. The Vikings are going to have to put up their foot on the pedal, really push it hard and don't step off of it.
Yeah, even though Huntington North is leading on the leaderboard, I feel like momentum's in the court of Norwell right now. I mean, you know, going into halftime, you're down 1, but they have been hot from beyond the arc. Just great three-point shots out of the McBride brothers. And that's really been the offense here is the McBride brothers. I think those are both the leading scorers, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's really been the McBride brothers here for Huntington North. Husband has been electric here early. They're playing a 2-3 zone, so a lot of his points aren't just straight offense. It's out of transition and offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and as much as you want to talk about the coach being the dad of the two best players on Norwell, it is a little bit of the McBride show, but man, they are 2 very good players. They shoot the ball extremely well. They run around well, and they get open looks. I mean, when you're making that many threes, it's gonna happen. You're gonna score a lot of points, and I think they just do a great job at making shots. The Knights have done a great job tonight at just being versatile, and they get the ball down low when they can on back cuts, and they do a great job at shooting open looks. They've had a lot of opportunities from beyond the arc, shooting 12 of them. But I mean, when you're 50% from 3, you have to keep shooting. And these 2 guys that have been their shooters all day, all year, Nick McBride is 4 for 7 from 3. That's north of 50%. Wow. And yeah, it's 7 shots. And he's probably taken a couple that were questionable. But when he knocks in 4 of 7, man, it's tough. It's very tough to not be okay with that as a fan or as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Huntington North offense there needs to be a switch. They come up and they have 3 guards up top, and they just pass around. There's not a lot of confusion, movement. It's a lot of, like, stagnant out of Huntington North. While it is working, it is working. And, sometimes you don't fix if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's saying Huntington North still up 1. But it just feels a little slow to Huntington North. While on the other end, the Knights, I think that's why I feel like momentum's in their court. Is their constant movement and just their trickery, and you've just seen some great basketball shots.
Yeah, and I think what contributes to the offensive struggles from the Vikings is just the way that Norwell is playing defense. They're playing that 2-3 zone. They haven't come out of it yet in this game. They haven't done any pressing. The Vikings strive off of pressure when they have guys out running defensively. They're able to get back cuts. They're able to get layups, and they just haven't been able to get the ball within the paint because the Knights are doing a great job at being a very compact defense within the 3-point arc, and they're forcing the Vikings to shoot threes that they don't want to shoot, and it shows. It's 2 for 13 from 3-point land for the Vikings, and it's tough to win games and put up points when you're not able to shoot the open shot, or you're not able to make the open shots. They've shot them a lot. It's tough for the Vikings especially because they do such a great job at getting the ball in the paint. Utilizing their 2 big men to pass that ball and get open looks. The Vikings are going to have to find a new way to score if they want, or just start hitting some more threes. Yeah. Either way, it's going to be interesting the way that Coach Thompson has this second half drawn up.
It's almost like an art. They're a very compact defense, but their 2 front guards at the top of the 2-3 are so quick that they contest the 3-point shot. So it's almost like there is no open shot for Huntington North besides the offensive rebound, but that's exactly what Norwell has given up. Huntington North has so many offensive rebounds. I mean, I feel like so many shots have been created just off offensive rebounds and points put up on that board. So I think if Norwell wants to kick it into gear, they got to rebound a little bit better. And for Huntington North, you got to force a little bit more movement, a little bit more confusion, because that's what I think you'll find the open man.
Yeah, I think you have to be able to score off of those second chance opportunities if you're the Vikings. And, you know, a 2-3, any kind of zone that's within the half court, it is always going to be tough to rebound defensively. The Vikings are going to get a lot of offensive rebounds, and I think Coach McBride is going to have to accept that, and he's going to have to tell his guys, you got to D up, you got to make them miss those shots, and they've done that so far. Just 9 points off of 11 offensive rebounds isn't usually that margin where you want to be. You want to score every time you get an offensive rebound. The Vikings just struggling to get that ball back in the basket off of their own misses. But I think that those opportunities are there. Clearly it shows with 11 already in this game. But the Vikings have to be able to capitalize off of them. And I think this game could be a runaway.
And I really think Coach Thompson does a great job at halftime hyping up his players. You see a lot of time out of the start of a game or at halftime, that first and third quarter, Huntington North strikes pretty quickly. I think they catch the other team on their toes. They come out with some fire. So I would love to see a pretty large lead coming out of the third quarter, sending us into the fourth out of Huntington North. I think Coach Thompson's really going to hype up these Huntington North starters and really get them going here out of halftime.
Yeah, you hear it all the time when we talk to, you know, our buddies on the team. When you talk to the players, they're like, man, yeah, Coach ripped us a little bit there at halftime.
Yeah.
He got into us, but it's so good for this team because they're so good off of that fire. When you light a fire under their butt, they really respond well, and they've shown it throughout this season. And I 100% will tell you that Coach Thompson definitely went in that locker room a little bit upset. Just a 1-point lead against a team that you're projected to beat by right around 15. It's not where you want to be, but the Vikings, I know they're ready for the second half.
Yeah, this is going to be Norwell basketball. McBride in the backcourt, guarded by Campbell. Campbell picking him up. A lot of pressure here. McBride turning his back, struggling to find an open man. He passes this one off to Comer. Comer back to McBride. McBride down, driving baseline, turns it over to Schultz. Huntington North, some great defense here early. Schultz bringing it up on the left side, finds Campbell in the corner. Campbell fumbles it a little bit, passes it back up to Schultz. Huntington North sticking with the same offense, 3 guards up top, 2 in the paint with some movement. They get it into Freiberger in the corner. He shoots a 3, doesn't fall, rebounded by McBride. McBride to his brother. They pass it up the court to Jolly. Jolly hands it off to McBride. He shot fakes, attacking center, step back, find his brother. Oh, deep logo 3. That does not fall, though. That was so far out of McBride.
Yeah, that was easily a 30-footer. Almost made it, too. Would have been electric if that ball went in.
Campbell, top of the key for Huntington North. A little bit of space, a little bit of sagged off. They find Schultz in the corner, shot fake. A little one-hop floater, doesn't fall, rebounded by Jolly. Jolly finds McBride. He gets it up to his brother, McBride. Finds McBride for 3. And wow, in transition as he looks to his crowd and pounds his chest.
And Nick McBride has just been on fire today. Now 5 of 8 from deep. Got to get a hand up on him. Can't lose him in that Knights offense.
Schultz trying to respond. He can't get it to fall. Great rebound out of Blaine Freiberger. He loses it. And it's going to be picked up by McBride. McBride in transition. He's going to spot up. Doesn't shoot the ball, though. Finds his brother. He's going all the way down below. Shovels it off. And that's a foul out of Brandon Freiberger and an and one.
Yeah, the Knights are going to show when they make big plays. They know that they want to win this game badly. Now a 4-point game. The Vikings down 32-28. Just not even 2 minutes into this third quarter. You know, we said that they were going to come out hot, and they have done the exact opposite. They've run cold. Titus Schultz has missed a couple shots here early in this third quarter. Vikings got to figure out a way to respond.
Huntington North scoreless so far. Huntington North 28, Knights 33. 5-point lead here for the Knights. 6 minutes left in the third. Campbell on the left wing. Campbell pass faking. Huntington North just being patient up and around the arc. Husband will actually pop out as Campbell goes into the post. They get it down to Blaine Freiberger. Freiberger up to Husband. Husband over to Campbell. Campbell shoots the 3, and it is in and out. Rebounded by the Knights. McBride bringing up the court. Nick McBride asking for a screen. McBride, a great cut out of Comer, who finds Jolly in the corner. And I'm sorry, but Bunn hits a big one, and Huntington North will call timeout.
And it's a tough look for the Vikings. They haven't scored yet in the second half, and they've given up 7 points already to the Knights. Vikings have to figure something out. Coach Thompson's got to find something new on offense if they want to start scoring the basketball.
Just seems quiet. I mean, Huntington North just looks a little stagnant here at a halftime. Just quiet. I mean, not much movement on either side of the court for the Vikes.
Yeah, playing for a conference title here, they have to have a little bit of fire. They have to find something that's going to work and then start abusing it. They need to start hitting threes. Grant Campbell has absolutely been cold today. Now 0 for 5 from 3. That one in and out. Whole toilet bowl around the rim. Couldn't get it to fall. Vikings need to find something huge here in the next half of this third quarter. A lot of basketball left to be played. We know the Vikings can go on some hot sprees, but it's going to take somebody to step up and start making some shots.
Yeah, it's like there's lid on that basket. I mean, a lot of these balls are in and out or just short. Huntington North just has to find a groove. They can't be beyond the three-point line. I mean, we've seen the last couple weeks, Huntington North relied on it earlier in the season, but you've seen not as many threes out of Schultz, not many threes out of this team the last couple of games. So I think they just need to attack that post. Problem is they're having trouble getting it down there. I mean, great defense here out of Norwell. Huntington North basketball. Campbell, top of the key, this 2-3 zone. It's looking like quite the same offense. They get it down to Freiberger. Freiberger going up, and he will get the and one.
Man, that is huge for the Vikings. Finally, something falls, and it's with a foul. Blaine Freiberger now at the line. Big body. He used it there. Really wanted that one to go in. A couple bounces on the rim. It didn't want it to go in, but finally falls for the Vikings. I just think Huntington North has to continue to be aggressive. That was an aggressive play out of Blaine Freiberger, and they're going to draw fouls and get to the free throw line. That's what it's going to take to win this game.
Much needed response out of Huntington North as they get the offensive rebound. Chance had a 5-point play, and Campbell will drain it. The rare 5-point play and one out to a 3. Now it's a 3-point game. Huntington North 33, Knights 36.
Campbell finally knocking one in. That's such a huge play out of a senior guard.
This is going to be McBride. McBride passed it off to his brother Nick. Nick up to Jolly. Jolly passed it off to Bunn. Bunn top of the key. Huntington North some great defense. Jolly passed it off to McBride. A little mid-range, and he's going to get the foul. I can't believe that. That looks soft.
Yeah, it was not much, maybe a little swipe in there. Couldn't quite tell if he got him on the arm. But a good sell out of Nick McBride. He's a great shooter. He's been playing well all day. He has the majority of these Knights points. And now he's at the line for 2 more. I don't think he's missed a free throw yet today.
Yeah, Nick McBride really been all the offense here for the Knights. Compared to what his brother is, 19 points per game. Who's leading right now, or what do they both have?
It's definitely Nick who is leading. Going into halftime, he had 12, and he's already scored. He hit a 3 earlier, now 2 free throws. He just knocked in the second one. He's easily leading this Knights team.
Yeah, about 17. Campbell bringing this ball into basketball court. Huntington North down 5. Campbell finds Schultz, who gets to Freiberger. Still great defense. Huntington North is being just forced to shoot this 3-point basket. 4:30 left before the fourth quarter. Schultz taking the shot, and that is an air ball. I have never seen that out of our shooter. A great jump out of Comer. Comer loses it. Actually, it's McBride with a fadeaway 3, rebounded by Bolin. Bolin passed it off to Schultz. Schultz going to bring this basketball up. Schultz finds Freiberger in the corner. Freiberger back to Schultz. Campbell, same spot on the left side, doesn't take the shot. Huntington North staying patient. Schultz over to Campbell. Campbell ripping baseline. He's going to go up. And that's going to be a foul before the shot.
Yeah, just a little tap there. Tried to get that backside steal when they reach around the backside of the offensive player. Couldn't quite get there. It's going to be a foul. Now, just the first foul there on Bunn and Vikings basketball under their basket.
Yeah, Campbell top the key. Finds Schultz in the corner. Back to Campbell. Campbell, little space. He's going to shoot it, and Campbell is hot.
And 2 threes now for him. He got one to finally go in and out. Then he makes the next 2. That's so huge out of him. He hasn't quit shooting. He's now made 3, bringing that percentage back up for the Vikings.
Huntington North down 2 now. McBride passes this one off to Bunn. Bunn over to McBride in the corner. McBride up to Jolly. Jolly over to McBride. McBride driving baseline. Up to Bunn. Huntington North, great defense. No paint penetration. Now it's McBride in the paint. He finds his brother in the corner. He'll shoot it. Just a miss. Rebounded by Campbell. That almost could have been a foul on the rebound, but they're going to let these boys play tonight. Campbell over to Schultz. He gets to Freiberger in the corner. 2-point lead. Huntington North has a chance to regain. Schultz over to Campbell. Campbell wide open. Campbell's shooting, and he is on fire.
Man, Grant Campbell single-handedly with 3 straight threes, bringing this Vikings team back in it. Huge three-point shots out of the senior to put the Vikings in the lead.
Campbell up 1. They get it off to Jolly. Jolly ripping down the left side. Jolly will fall in a late foul call. I think it was a foul. I'm not complaining about that, but it was just late.
Yeah, it's going to be on Dalton Husband. Should just be, just his first foul of the game. Nothing huge there. Something we didn't know earlier. Blaine Freiberger is now back on the bench after his 4th foul of the game earlier. Brody Boland's going to see a lot of minutes late in this game. He's going to have to step up big, especially in the rebounding game.
Yeah, the Knights taking this one out of bounds, and it is taken away out of Husband, but he loses it out of bounds. A little missed opportunity, but great defense. That ball, instead of being underneath the basket, is now at half court. That'll allow our Huntington North defense to get set.
Yeah, it's a great IQ, very smart play out of Husband. Knew that ball was coming in the way it was and just took it. Couldn't get the handle on it, though, and it'll stay in the Knights.
McBride, a little slip out of Richardson. That is blocked by Schultz, but put back in by Bunn. Just needed a rebound, but Huntington North down 1, 2:30 left in the third. Campbell is hot. He gets it off to Schultz. Schultz a little floater, and he'll draw the foul, so he'll have 2 and a chance to tie it up or take the lead.
Yeah, definitely probably a little more of on the softer side with it was that foul. You know, we've seen a couple of those knick-knack fouls here in this game, and then a lot of stuff that's been let go. So some controversial stuff, some stuff that's pretty easy there from the refs. However, Schultz now going to the line. He's a great shooter, but he misses the first one.
Yeah, Schultz just a little bit shaken up. Just misses that first one as he's lining up for the second. We want to give a thank you to Bippa State Bank and Wise Guys Downtown and First Federal Savings Bank for being our sponsors tonight. Schultz makes the second one, so we are all tied up at 40 points. 2:22 left in the third. McBride guarded by Campbell in the backcourt. McBride coming up very slow, trying to size up Campbell, try to get some space. He passes this one off to Bunn. Bunn bringing it back up to the top. Bunn trying to spin left. Finds McBride. McBride ripping baseline. Campbell leaves his help side, and that will be a missed layup for McBride, but that's picked up by Thornton. Thornton over to Richardson. Richardson hands it off to McBride for a corner 3, and he is cold. They get it up to Boland off his elbow, who saves it. McBride 1-on-3. McBride shoots a little jumper and gets it to fall. Huntington North down 2.
Man, Boland just kind of gave up on that play. That ball was still in bounds, and he was running away like he made a turnover, and it ends up being the turnover. Got to have more awareness out of that sophomore.
Yeah, shot fake here at a Freiberger. Gets it off to Schultz. Schultz over to Campbell. Campbell should be looking to spot up, shoot. I mean, he's feeling it. Get it over to Campbell. Campbell shot fakes, pass it down to Husband. Husband over to Freiberger. Great back cut as he misses the bunny, though. Gosh. Some speed here out of McBride. McBride over to his brother. He shot fakes, rips baseline. Weaving between traffic. Shot fake here out of McBride over in the corner to Thornton. Great defense here out of Huntington North, cutting off all angles. McBride to Richardson on the back cut, and they are now up 4 points, 53 seconds left in the third.
Yeah, it's just too easy. The Vikings too worried about the three-pointer there on that play. Easy, wide-open layup by Richardson.
Unfortunately, you can't blame him. I mean, they have been hot from beyond the arc. Freiberger looking to get Grant on the flare screen. Can't find him. Finds Schultz in the corner. Schultz, a little spot-up jumper. Falls for Huntington North. 2-point lead for the Knights.
You know, that's the one shot that Titus has been able to make tonight. He's been great at those pull-up jumpers from the baseline and from the elbow. He's got to find a way to get back to that spot. He knows he can make them. He's been pretty cold from three. It's just a great shot out of Titus.
Yeah, McBride really holding this ball. 14 seconds. It's almost got to be 5 seconds. I mean, he's just been standing there. He gets it off to his brother, McBride. McBride in the corner, driving it in the center, spinning, little fadeaway layup, and wow, that fell. 2 seconds. Huntington North got to shoot it. Full court heave. Doesn't fall for Huntington North. Huntington North down 4.
Yeah, 46-42 now. Knights lead it. Vikings got to find – they found a little bit of a spark there midway through that third quarter. Grant Campbell really leading that charge. 2 threes for him. Great job out of the senior guard. But the Vikings, man, they've got to be able to find ways to score the basketball. When when the Knights are coming down every time and coming away with 2 or 3 points, it's tough. If you're the Vikings offense, you have to keep your foot on the gas, find a way to be aggressive and find those points. While Huntington North is a great shooting team, they're not good enough to just win beyond the arc. Too many three-pointers at Huntington North. We need to see more movement, get that ball down in the paint, because we see nothing in the driving game. Campbell is a great driving. He receives the pass, drives to the basket, lays in through contact. We see that out of many of our Huntington North basketball players, but not tonight. I mean, this 2-3 zone is really getting to Huntington North. Yeah, and, the only guy, Dalton has done a great job today, but the guy that I think has been very good offensively is Blaine Freiberger, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to stay in the game. He's the one guy that'll go through contact every single time. He's not going to shy away from it. He gets the ball and he just attacks that rim, but now he's been in foul trouble, so he's been sitting the bench a lot, but finally he's coming back into this game with 4 fouls. Got to keep an eye on him. He's got to be very smart here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Freiberger, he can't foul out. He's someone we need down below to really, that could be a game changer. A little less pressure down below, get a little more defense out beyond the arc. A big time, almost a steal out of McBride. Huntington North struggling with this basketball. Grog passes it to Campbell, back to Grog. Grog over to Schultz. Grog wide open, shot faking, gets it out to Campbell. Campbell cross-court pass to Schultz. Great pass out of Campbell. Huntington North being patient. Campbell takes a 3, and his hot streak will end after 3. This is McBride going down below. Stolen by Schultz. Schultz saves it to Campbell. Campbell moving up on the left side. Picked up by Privet. Campbell attacking the center. Pass it out to Schultz. Huntington North is just slow, just very stagnant offense. Still doing a great job. 4-point game. They find Campbell on the left wing. Down to Schultz at the top of the key, wide open. He will miss that 3. This is going to be McBride in the backcourt. McBride will get a screen by Jolly. McBride attacking the left side. Great pass to Richardson and great court awareness out of McBride.
Yeah, Vikings defense just falls apart in that help side sometimes, and it's really showing here against the Knights.
Huntington North really needs to pick up the energy here. Husband top of the key with the basketball. Pass it off to Schultz on the right wing. Schultz up to Campbell. Huntington North being patient, waiting for their shot. Campbell on the left wing. Pass it down to Husband. Back up to Campbell. Campbell zips it off to Schultz. Schultz back to Campbell. He shot fakes. Husband finally down to the paint. He's going to make a move and almost get the and one, but he'll be sent to the line.
Yeah, Husband 4 of 5 so far in this game. Just his first 2 free throws of the second half. I think he needs to keep being aggressive, keep getting to the line. If he's going to knock them in, that'll be huge for the Vikings.
Yeah, these both need to fall for Huntington North. Cut it back to 4 points. Husband will take the line for his first shot. That will not fall for Huntington North as Braden Freiberger will check back into the game, along with number 4, Cooper Bunn, and number 30, Noah Comer. Husband taking the line for his second shot. He will make that one. Huntington North down 5, 6:15 left in this basketball game. McBride in the backcourt. Norwell with the lead. 6:07 left. Pass it off to Comer on the left wing. Comer brings it back up top, looking for McBride. He finds Jolly. Jolly squaring up with Husband. Husband with some stellar defense gets it off to McBride. McBride off to the left side. Brings it back to the right. McBride shoots a spot up 3, misses it short. Husband with the rebound. Gets it off to Braden Freiberger. Freiberger, no one in front of him. He finds Schultz in the corner. Schultz over to Campbell. Campbell shot fake. Sticking with the 2-3 zone all night. Schultz with the 3. And that one is bouncing around. Doesn't fall. Rebounded by Freiberger. Freiberger will go up strong. Doesn't fall. Rebounded by Schultz. Schultz with the push-up. And he will have some free throws.
And finally, that's another 3 offensive rebounds there for the Vikings. Schultz finally getting that foul for the potential 2 points. But, man, the Vikings cannot find anything to fall under the basket when they get those offensive rebounds. They have to be able to make contested layups. If they're gonna be able to block out the way that they have, I feel like they need to be able to go up strong and at least get to the free throw line like Schultz did.
Yeah, first one is made for Schultz. That'll cut the lead to 4. Schultz will have a chance to take this lead down to 3 points. Our sponsors tonight is Wise Guys Downtown and Nove Corporation. Schultz will make the second 2 big free throws out of the junior and the leading scorer for this Huntington North basketball team. Full court press out of Huntington North, trying to switch it up, catch them on their toes. McBride guarded by Freiberger. And that will be a timeout for the Knights. They're going to talk some things over.
Yeah, it's not a bad timeout. They want to be able to score on this possession and bring this back to either a 5 or 6 point game. The Vikings need a huge defensive possession. If they can get this ball back and score again, it's just a 3 point game now. It doesn't feel like a 3 point game. It feels like it's a 10 point game because this game should be, 10 points for the Vikings in the lead. But either way, it's going to have to be a gritty comeback out of this Huntington North team. Coach Thompson's got to draw some things up, be able to run maybe a couple sets, find ways to get his guys to the basket. They've got to be able to score in big-time fashion here late in this game.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a good basketball game. Coming into Huntington North Basketball Arena, Norwell, a little bit of chip on their shoulder. They're sitting 5th in the conference, but still with a good record. Huntington North, just not a lot of firepower. Now, they're not playing bad. It's just this defense, this Norwell defense, just causing a lot of mind games for Huntington North, and it's really slowing them down. And, we're playing at the Norwell pace. I said at the beginning of this game, if Huntington North can play at their pace, it'll be no problem, but that's not been the case. Almost a turnover right out of the inbounds. McBride will take this up to the center court, though. Pass it off to Bunn. Bunn on the right wing. Bunn pass it off to McBride. McBride will bring it up to the top of the key. He tries to dump it down. They find Comer in the corner. An airball 3-point shot rebounded by Huntington North. Schultz on the right wing finds Freiberger. Freiberger at the top of the key. All off the shin of Freiberger tried to dump it down to Husband, and that'll be taken out of bounds underneath. So Huntington North will have an opportunity to get a layup here out of an out-of-bounds play.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a good play. Got to look at here. Titus Schultz is wide open in the corner. They might just zip it to him early. They get it into Freiberger, and that's going to be a turnover. It's through his hands. It's going to be Comer. Comer passed it off to McBride. McBride will miss the layup. Rebounded by Comer. That's missed. Huntington North Freiberger, as he is just tackled. Well, actually hit, and then he trucked the other guy. Yeah. Man, Husband actually blocked that first shot. That was a great block out of Husband. Came flying out of nowhere, threw it off the backboard. But the Vikings, man, they're doing a great job at being aggressive. They have to continue to do the thing that they've done the best. Be aggressive. Be the athletes that they are. They have to get to the basket. Man, that's the 4th foul there for their leading scorer for the Knights.
Yeah, so he could be in trouble. Schultz with a 3, and it will finally fall for the junior shooter.
Man, that's such a huge shot, though. That's a
big-time shot out of Schultz. Ties it up. What a shot. This is McBride guarded by Campbell. One-on-one. Campbell face guarding him. McBride dumps it down to Jolly. Campbell following him. Jolly over to Bunn. Bunn at the top of the key. Bunn attacking baseline. They find McBride in the corner. He dumps it down to Jolly. Great defense out of Schultz. McBride, deep 3. And that is airballed. Wow.
Yeah, both McBride brothers now with an airball 3 late in this game. Their clutch factor has to step up if the Knights want to get that lead back.
Yeah, just need a little more confidence. Big T cut out of Schultz. Schultz with a 3. In and out. Rebounded by Husband. What an athletic feat as he gets it to Campbell. Campbell with the leg.
Man, that's such a great play by Dalton Husband and Grant Campbell. Grant saw that open lane, and a couple guys trying to guard Husband, and Husband just great IQ, great passing ability.
Huntington North, 2-point lead, 3:30 left, as McBride will get the foul. I mean, wow. I think McBride's just a lighter body, so any kind of push, shove, bump will just draw that foul.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you, but it's just the first foul there for Grant Campbell, and the first foul for the Vikings team in this 4th quarter. Fouls are just 3-1. Not a lot of things being called here in this 4th quarter. I like how the refs let them play a little bit. Both teams able to be aggressive but not have to play scared.
Great defense out of bounds. Comer tried to inbound this basketball as Schultz kind of tips it with his foot up into his hands, but that's going to be a kick ball. Comer inbounds it to Jolly. Jolly, they're looking to just get it to McBride. I mean, this is the McBride show here tonight. It's just Nick, all Nick. They get it off to Comer on the left side. Comer dumps it off to Jolly. Jolly at the top of the key. 3 minutes left. Huntington North up 2. Bunn, top of the key, guarded by Schultz. Schultz down to Jolly. McBride kind of sitting in the corner. Not much out of McBride. Comer, they find the other McBride in the corner. He'll shoot another one, and finally he'll connect.
Yeah, I think that's just his second 3 of the basketball game, but that's going to fire him up a little bit. That puts the Knights ahead at 51-50. It's a timeout here. I think it was by the Vikings. 2:52 left in the game.
No, that was actually that was on the Knights. The Knights want to talk some things over, have a great defensive set on the other end, and just catch the Vikes off guard. I wouldn't be surprised if they change it up, come out in a trap, because Huntington North is just starting to get used to this Knights defense.
Yeah, it's going to take, for the Vikings, it's going to take, if there is a missed shot, it's going to take a huge offensive rebound and a big putback by anyone on this team. Again, when it is a zone, the way that the Knights are playing it, it's going to give up a lot of offensive rebounds. It's shown all night long, but the Vikings need to capitalize on it. If Huntington North can get a huge offensive rebound and a huge putback, get them back into this lead, and they have to continue to put the pressure back on the Knights. They're a young team who probably haven't been in this position a lot. And if they have, to be honest, I don't think they've come out on top. The Vikings have to put that pressure on them and play in the way that they know they can.
Yeah, Campbell will get a screen by Schultz. A little bit tighter defense here. It's going to be a 3-2 zone now, so they did switch it up, some more outside pressure. Huntington North could find some easy layups here against this defense. Campbell looking to get it in. He passes it off to Schultz at the top of the key. Schultz to Freiberger. He kind of loses it, and he does but withdraw the foul. That is the Knights' 4th foul of this quarter.
Man, that's one of those knick-knack fouls that we were talking about, and it looks like it's going to be underneath the basket there for the Vikings. Blaine thought he was shooting. He wanted those 2 shots, but, just one more foul, and it'll be a bonus there for the Vikings. And that'll be the 4th foul.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah,
4th foul out of Drew Jolly. So that is 2 Norwell Knights here with 4 fouls. So Huntington North should be aggressive. Try to draw these fouls. Schultz attacking the middle. He loses it, though, as he gets it up to McBride. McBride going up strong, and it is blocked. That is such a late foul call, and that's just not that referee's call.
Yeah, that ref coming from the backside, and they're going to call that foul. It's tough to get that one. The Knights wanted a goaltend there. I don't know if it was ever touched by Husband, but Husband did get a big slap on the backboard. I actually don't think that ball was touched by him. I think it was already off the backboard by the time he smacked the backboard. But when you get a big hit like the Husband does every once in a while, it's bound to be goaltending sometimes, but the refs here won't call it.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, it didn't impact the rim more than that. Maybe it did shake the backboard a little bit, but that's not what caused the mess. I mean, it was a pretty off-balance shot anyway. As McBride did get free throws, and he'll make the first one. I mean, it looked like it was flying out, but it dribbled right back in. McBride has the chance to extend this to 3. Huntington North might be looking for something beyond the arc. 2:19 left in this basketball game. And McBride will make that one 3-point game for the Knights in the driver's seat. 2:17 left. Huntington North down 3. Campbell attacking the right side, looking to get it to Schultz. A little quicker defense, 3 out. Campbell on the right side. Huntington North being aggressive here. They get it into Freiberger, almost a turnover as Schultz has the ball, and that's going to be a timeout from Huntington North.
Yeah, just not a lot going for them. They're not able to get anything within 20 seconds, and Coach Thompson just wants to talk it over and find something new to do. Probably going to draw up a set, find something that can get a big play out of the Vikings. With 2 minutes left in this game at 1:58, it's either going to have to be a quick layup and then play defense and hopefully get that ball back, or it's going to be a big-time shot. You're going to trust your guy to hit a 3, and if he misses, get the offensive rebound. I think that's where Coach Thompson's going to go to. He knows he has shooters on this team. A guy like Campbell got hot in that third quarter. He was cold early on and then found a little bit of a rhythm. Same with Titus Schultz. He's been on and off today. Just need a big shot out of somebody.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it has to be a 3. I mean, if you take it into the basket, Husband with a big 2 defensive stop, you have a chance to take a lead. So Huntington just needs to find something. I mean, been a little stagnant here in the second half. really the last 3 quarters, but they've stayed in it. They've definitely stayed aggressive and stayed in it. But I just need to see a little bit more. I mean, Huntington North just needs to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I think after that Vikings timeout, they may only have 1, maybe 2 left in the game. Might be a scary thing going deep into this fourth quarter, especially in a close game like it is. But Coach Thompson knows what he's doing. He's been doing this a long time. They've been in this position so far this year a couple times. Just got to find a way to come out on top.
Huntington North with possession. Again, a 3-2 zone here out of Norwell Knights. They get it to Schultz in the corner. Schultz brings it back up top, over to Blaine. Blaine down to Husband in the paint. Schultz shot fakes, finds Blaine. Huntington North being patient. Now it's Blaine down in the paint, and there's that 2 we needed, but he missed it. Huntington North needs to stop. Minute 30 left in this basketball game. Down 3. McBride with the basketball. Brings it over down to the right. Almost a steal out of Braden Freiberger. McBride driving baseline. He finds a little open, and that's going to be Campbell going the other way, and that is going to be a foul, and that is a foul on Jack Richardson.
Yeah, that'll be the
He'll
fifth
be
foul.
shooting.
Yeah, 5th foul for the Knights. That'll be 2 free throws for Campbell. Just as good. I think Dalton Husband really didn't want them to call that foul because Campbell had a good lane going to the basket. But it's a good foul by McBride, just his 2nd of the game. That being Nick McBride, the older of the 2 brothers. We know that Josh is actually at 4 fouls, 1 more, and he fouls out. That'll be a big for the Vikings. But Campbell now makes the first free throw, lining up for a second.
Yeah, and Jolly will check back into the game. Jolly with 4 fouls as well. So Huntington North looking to take out some of these best players late in this game and maybe come away with the win. But Campbell will make that first one, 2-point lead for the Knights. Campbell lining up for his second, and he will make that one. Down 1 point, 52-53, 119 left in this basketball game. Huntington North full court press. They get it in to Bunn. Bunn passes this one up to Comer. Comer over to McBride. McBride in the corner. He's picked up, dribbling around. He almost loses it, and that's finally going to be a foul.
Yeah,
McBride is hurt.
Braden Freiberger, a little too much reach there. Draws the foul out of McBride. McBride hit that elbow again. That's the same elbow he hit earlier in the game.
Swollen.
Yeah, I think that's why he's a little more
out.
grimacing in pain. It looks like he's going to stay in. He's going to tough it out for his team.
That will be Braden Freiberger's 2nd foul of the game. So Huntington North still has 1 to give before free throws. They get it into Jolly. Jolly at the top of the key, gets it to McBride. McBride double teamed by Huntington North, and that should be an over and back, but that's going to be a timeout.
Yeah, Coach McBride knew he needed to get his guy out of that situation. But, man, 1 point game, Vikings trailing 52-53 to the Norwell Knights. Just a minute and 2 seconds left in this game. The Vikings in bonus. That's a huge thing there because the Knights have done a lot of, knick-knack fouls with the ball in a Viking player hand.
Yeah, Huntington North needs to be aggressive here. I mean, you need a turnover, and you definitely can't let up a 3 because that could be a game sealer. Got to be aware of where the 3-point line is, who has the basketball, and I mean, all of these Norwell players are shooters. I mean, I haven't seen any bad shot. I mean, all of these guys shoot the basketball. So this Huntington North just needs to steal. A steal off the inbounds, a steal anywhere on this basketball court, and just respond and be in the driver's seat once again and put the pressure on Norwell to make a clutch shot.
Yeah, I just don't think the Vikings have played the defense the way that they know that they can. They haven't shown that they can get out and run a little bit, score off the turnovers. They haven't gotten very many leak out steals. Just Dalton Husband had a couple there in the first half. But they've got to find a way to get a couple more of those, especially late in this game. Get a steal, draw a foul, get 2 shots, or get it all the way to the cup, maybe an and one. It's going to be something that's got to happen. That's going to be huge, a momentum shifter for the Vikings.
Yep, Norwell Knights with the possession here. Up 1 point, a minute left. They can hold this basketball or come away with the score. Could be a win for Norwell for the upset. Norwell Knights struggling to get it in. He chucks it into Jolly in the backcourt. Full court press out of Campbell. Husband slips behind his defender. He gets it off to almost a steal out of Braden Freiberger. Great defense and court awareness out of the sophomore.
Yeah, the Vikings definitely being jumpy. Coming out of that timeout, they knew they needed to be aggressive and get that ball back. They don't want to foul late in the game to have to, force free throws. They want to get the score and get back on top.
They get it into Jolly, and that's going to be a foul on Husband. I'm not sure about that one, but they'll take it out of bounds.
Yeah, this got caught up on the arm of Jolly. I think Jolly was really the one enforcing that foul, but it's definitely tough as a defender when that happens to you, because it always looks like it's going to be your fault. Now the fourth foul for the Vikings. One more, and the Knights will also be in bonus.
Yeah, but it's been pretty spread out. That's Husband's second, so Husband will have no problem staying in this basketball game. The Knights looking to get it in. They get it into Jolly. Jolly in the backcourt. That's a turnover. Campbell has a chance for a layup, and Campbell will lay it in. A big mistake out of Norwell. Exactly what we needed. Huntington North up one. Fans are on their feet. McBride in the backcourt. McBride guarded by Campbell. Takes it off to the left side, the right side. Gets it up to Jolly. Jolly top the key back to McBride. McBride, 30 seconds left, having to make a clutch shot. Oh, tipped out of bounds. Great defense out of Braden Freiberger.
Yeah.
Huntington North is loud.
Man, Braden just knowing his athleticism, he's gotten to 2 balls like that now, and now a timeout out of the Knights.
The Knights, big mistake in the backcourt. Campbell with a clutch clutch steal for an easy layup. And that is exactly what we called for and exactly what Huntington North needed.
Yeah, I said it before. They needed to find a way to get a leak out point. They needed that. Man, they needed that steal. They needed a couple points off of a turnover. Now, Vikings 54, Knights 53. Both teams going to be in bonus. Any foul is going to send somebody to the line, but just 26.8 seconds left in the regulation of this basketball game.
Now for the Knights, what do you do? I mean, you have some hot 3-point shots out of the McBride brothers, and even beyond that, everyone on the court. Where do you go down below for a layup? I mean, what are you going to choose to come out? And are you going to take the low percentage 3-point shot, or are you going to try to attack the paint? So it's just Huntington North needs to prepare or catch them off guard in something that throws them off.
Yeah, to be honest with you, you say low percentage 3-point shot, but these McBride brothers have shown they can shoot.
They're making a high percentage.
Yeah, we knew they could shoot coming into this game, but right around 35% between the two of them. But man, Nick McBride has really lit it up tonight. He's shown that he can shoot. Just because he's averaging less than his brother doesn't mean that he can't turn up and take over a basketball game.
Yeah, and there's actually going to be a change here. Number 10, Cade Thornton will check into this basketball game. Both McBride brothers on this court as well. Huntington North needs some stellar defense to close out this one in crunch time. We're trying to get it into the McBride brothers, and he is not allowed to move, but they're going to give it to him as it's Thornton. Thornton struggles. It's Campbell now. It's McBride in backcourt. 20 seconds guarded by Freiberger. McBride just at the top of the key. I'm surprised no 5-second call. McBride guarded by Freiberger. 10 seconds left. They get it to McBride. McBride loses that out of bounds. It'll stay on this end.
Yeah, Dalton Husband, great help side defense. They wanted to get that ball around the backside of Dalton, but long arms, man, he's going to tip that ball out of bounds every single time. 7 seconds left. The Knights wanted to take this last shot. They're going to trust their guys. Vikings, stellar defense so far. Got to continue it.
Yeah, and they get it immediately into Jolly for a layup. And Huntington North with the timeout.
Man, that hurts. The Vikings just fell asleep defensively. Jolly standing wide open under the basket. That's a big jab to the heart.
Huntington North, 4 seconds left, looking to get a buzzer beater win here. It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, the Vikings, man, it's got to be a big shot out of somebody. Can't turn it over on the inbounds pass. We've seen that too many times out of either team in these games. Vikings got to find a way to get an open look. We've seen it done before. They hit a game winner. Blaine Freiberger hit one last year against in a situation just like this. He hit it against Columbia City to win that game. Just a 1-point game. All it takes is a 2-point bucket. The Vikings are very athletic. They're a lot more athletic than this Knights team. They can find a way to get as long as they get that inbounds in, they can find a way to score this basketball.
Yeah, we're going to need something big. I mean, who's Thompson going to go to? Are you going to go to the person all season? Titus Schultz has been clutch. You're going to go to Campbell, who's hit 3 or 4 big-time threes. So, I mean, it's just a matter of who you're going to choose. And I wouldn't be surprised if he picked Campbell. I don't know. I think he's going to pick Schultz because Schultz has a little more confidence from anywhere on the court.
Yeah, I think you just got to get it to a guy that can get it up the court quick, and then maybe even find Dalton Husband or Blaine Freiberger under the basket for an easy 2-point bucket. But the Knights are definitely going to trap here. They're going to go double team. A full court zone defense already showing out of them.
And it's looked like a 1-2-2 press. Almost at half court. Could be not a man. 1-2-2 press. Campbell will come up the court. Campbell gets the inbound. Campbell driving down the right side. Campbell looking to go in the paint. Campbell going up. Doesn't fall. Rebounded. And it's in and out. In and out by Freiberger.
Man, Grant Campbell, such a good take to the basket. Could have been a foul. Didn't get it. Missed the shot. Braden Freiberger with the two-handed tip. Didn't get it to fall. And the Vikings are going to lose 55-54. Wow.
It's just hard. I don't know what to say. I mean, just heartbreaking loss. I think Huntington North played their heart out. So did Norwell. And they just had a better defense. I mean, they had a great 2-3 zone that put Huntington North in a pickle.
Yeah, it hurts. Now that's probably a conference loss for the Vikings. Probably going to come in second place if the Bulldogs pulled it out against East Noble. Just not the ending you wanted as the Vikings. Couldn't get it done. It was a great drive, man. It's a tough miss. 2 tough misses. They had the opportunity and didn't get it done. The Vikings fought hard to get back into this game, but couldn't ultimately score enough points in that fourth quarter to put themselves in that lead.
Huntington North had just a great crowd today, just a heartbreaker here. Leading scorer for Huntington North today, it's going to be Titus Schultz, 17 points, Grant Campbell, 15, Dalton Husband, 15. So 3 great games out of the 2 seniors and a junior. Then on the flip side, it's going to be Nick McBride with 21, and then Cooper Bunn with 12. And Jack Richardson coming off the bench is averaging 2.9 points a game with 7.
Yeah, it's crazy to just think about that. You know, Grant Campbell actually went into the halftime with 0 points, 0 for 5 from the field, ended the game 5 for 13, went 3 for 9 from three-point land. 15 points out of him is a great turnaround second half. If he could have, man, he had the opportunity to put that ball in the basket at the end there. Didn't get it done, but it was a great drive by him. He had that huge steal right before that to put the Vikings back in the lead. But really, it was just that defensive lapse with just 7 seconds left. Gave up an easy 2-point basket right underneath the hoop. Man, it's tough. It's tough when you give something up that much like that, and they had the opportunity to win, take a conference title home, and it just didn't get it done. It's unfortunate for the Vikings.
Yeah, when you look at the conference, tough loss to DeKalb really hurt the Vikings. I mean, that is someone who's a little bit lower in the conference. I believe they're sitting at 6, 7, or 8. And so that's just a tough one. And then you come in against a great team who's sitting at 5th in the conference. I definitely don't think that represented who they were. I think they're a great team, well coached by a 10th-year McBride coach. And I think Huntington didn't underestimate them, but I think a little more credit needs to be given to this Norwell team.
Yeah, I think when you look at this stat sheet, something that stands out big time is the field goal percentage for Huntington North. 36.5% from the field, 23.1% from 3. But the Knights went even 50% in both halves from the field, and then 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line, only missing 1 on the day.
Wow.
It's just, we said it before the game, it was going to take a huge shooting night out of the Knights, and they did it. They absolutely delivered. Nick McBride came out and hit 5 threes out of 9 shots, and then even Josh came out and hit 2 of 7 from deep for 10 points. But man, when you look at those numbers, the Vikings clearly missed a lot of layups. They missed a lot of second chance points. They had 31 total rebounds to the Knights 22, and the Vikings had 17 offensive rebounds. They almost matched the number of the Vikings defensive rebounds with their offensive. And it's unfortunate when you can't make those putback shots. You're not putting in the easy ones. You're gonna put yourselves in bad situation, and it's gonna lose you games.
Yeah, I mean, on the stat sheet, I think Huntington North wins this game. Less turnovers, a heck of a lot more total rebounds, definitely more offensive rebounds. I mean, Huntington North 17 offensive rebounds compared to Norwell's 4. So they did everything but right, but just couldn't get the shots to fall. I mean, it's just heartbreaking for this team because I just can't believe it went that way. I mean, Huntington North just had so many opportunities, definitely made so many giant shots. Grant Campbell had an amazing turnout today. Just, I don't know where the Vikings went wrong. I don't know if you can pin it on one thing or another.
Yeah, I think it's got to be that underlying thing of the field goal percentage. There's not much else on that stat sheet that went the Knights' way over the Vikings. But ultimately, the name of the game is to put points on the board, and the Vikings just couldn't get the shots to fall. The ball's got to go in the hoop to score points, and they couldn't do it. The game's not always won on the rebound numbers and the assist numbers or the steals. It's whether or not you put points on the board, and they did not get it done. They scored 19 points in that first quarter, and then went into halftime. They just scored 9 points in the second quarter, and it's a tough showing when you have such a big fall off and just 54 points on the game from a team who scores right around 60 to 65 on average. Unfortunately for the Vikings, it's going to be probably a conference loss. They had the opportunity, they had it all in their hands here tonight, and just didn't get it done.
It's tough. I mean, you go in and take down the number 1 team, New Haven, and just had a week of practice and come in, and they didn't think Huntington North just should have done. I don't know. I mean, I just think Huntington North played a great game tonight, and I don't think there's much that could have been done besides, like you said, shooting. But I mean, we still put up 54 points on that board, 54 to 55. Just what a great game out of Huntington North. Just Norwell was just hot all night long, and it's just so surprising on some of the shots that they were able to take and that they were able to get to fall.
Yeah, when the McBride when Nick McBride can come out and shoot over 50% from 3, it'll always be a tough night. If anybody on a team comes out and shoots as well as he did, I mean, 5 of 9 is such a great game out of him. That's 15 points just off of 3-pointers from one player. It's tough to guard that. It's tough when you know they're going to get back cuts and slips. They're going to get easy 2-point buckets if you're always guarding the 3, but you have to guard the 3 because they're not missing. It's a hard thing to do when a team is playing such great basketball and getting the ball to fall through the hoop, and the Vikings just not able to respond off of that.
Yeah, we're going to have a post-game interview with Coach Thompson to see his take on this game. So, Coach, tough loss tonight. Where do you think the Vikings could have improved a little bit on this court tonight?
Well, our first half, we were a little hyped up and didn't shoot very well, especially from the outside. Second half, we got it together. It's the first time in 9 years, almost a decade, that we're in a big game like this, and these guys would have been third graders. So if you don't know, you don't know. So hopefully we can continue the trend and keep going, and then they can pass this down to the next ones and the next and the next, and we can make this more of a this game with a chance to win. And we're not out yet. I don't know about it's a long shot for East Noble beating New Haven, but stranger things have happened. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson a long time ago, so hopefully we'll get some help. But very proud of the guys. Did a lot of great things, just not enough. And Norwell may have shot the best they have all season from the 3-point line.
Yeah, they were definitely very hot. Can you kind of touch on Norwell's defense? They had a great defensive night. Kind of touch on how they are coached defensively.
Well, we helped their defense. We first half, we're not loaded up, not ready to shoot. Second half, we started hitting and made them switch different defenses. But, again, it's just ready player, get the pass, find the opening, drive the gaps. And that's basically what it is. They did a nice job, and we helped them do a nice job. When we played our game, then we'd either score or get a nice look.
And what's one positive that you can take from this game going into the rest of our season?
Well, guys are real disappointed as they should be, but excuse me. Positives, we had a chance. We were in this game because of how well we did on the other one. So, I'm just proud of them. We just each time we keep getting better and better. Each year, keep getting better and better. So, just keep rolling for here and take this and use it as fuel to get better as we get into the sectional and win that thing.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in your next basketball game.
Thank you, Ben. Congrats, Jimmy, except for Indiana Tech was St. Francis's rival.
Yeah.
So other than that, proud of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so Huntington North had a really hard-fought game. They played well on multiple areas of the basketball game, just couldn't quite get it done here at Bob Trade Arena. Just had a great game overall.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate little fallout there, but the Vikings played hard. They showed a little bit of grit that they needed in that fourth quarter. Did a great job. Just couldn't find a way to come out on top. They needed to shoot the ball a little better, and if they did, I think that this game could have been a lot differently. Could have went a lot differently, but overall, Vikings got to go into sectional play now with a little bit of a hot streak. There's a couple games left in the regular season. Hopefully they can pull something out and go into the sectional feeling good.
Thanks for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Viking basketball. Again, the Vikes fell to the Norwell Knights 54-55. For James Thinker, I'm Ben Roth, and we'll see you guys at the next basketball game.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Vikings basketball on Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Before we go, we'd like to thank the following sponsors one more time for making tonight's broadcast possible.
Pippis State Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, Hartberg Roth Garrett Halverstadt Law, Nove, Rich Roofing Systems, and Wise Guys Downtown.
Be sure to tune in all season long for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH.